Good afternoon, YouTube and targeted survivor community worldwide. Shane Gibbs back again for my next episode in, well, my basically my weekly update video that I've been doing on YouTube for a number of months now. Today I want to start today's video just by reporting on the fact that if anybody is aware of, anybody is concerned about the safety and well-being of Laura, aka Targeted in Ireland, who's a very brave lady who has been trying to expose the targeted individual program over in Ireland for coming up nearly a couple of years now. I'd just like to report that Laura is fit and well. She's actually residing now with her father over in Ireland. I'd just like to thank the people that made me aware on Friday, I think it was Friday, of the suicide note video that Laura had put up onto her YouTube channel, which was very concerning. I got about a dozen or so messages and emails from very concerned people who were very worried about Laura. I actually contacted Laura several times. I think there's about 4 or 5 emails I sent her that morning, and I had no reply from them emails, so I was a little bit of a catch-22 situation, something that I despise doing, but I had no choice. I had to try and alert the authorities over in Ireland to go and do a check on Laura, just to make sure that she was actually safe and well. And I'm glad to report that she actually is. I got a report back yesterday from the Irish police to inform me that Laura is well, Laura is safe, she's alive. So yeah, I thought I'd need to start today's video off just by alerting everybody to the fact that Laura is fine, she's well, and hopefully she'll be back to a normal warrior type lady self in a very near future. Just like to wish Laura all the very best of luck and best wishes, not only from myself but from many other people that have been in touch with me. And I thought I'd start off today's episode basically talking about the adverse effect that this program actually has on a human being. Effectively, as most of you are probably very much aware of, the program is designed to actually destroy you as a person. It's designed to dehumanize you as a human, effectively to the point where you seem to be at a stage where you think there's no other option, there's no other way out other than to take your own life, which is what the program is designed to do. Effectively, by you taking your own life, you are actually doing the work of the dark side for them, which is a great concern to me personally, and a great concern for everyone involved. We are losing very brave people on a regular basis here in the UK and around the world within the TI community worldwide, and this needs to stop. What I will say is that I took it on myself to look up the English free phone number for the Samaritans. I know it's probably not what people that are on the verge of committing suicide wants to hear, but please may I urge you and insist to some degree that if you are in a position where you feel that you are so downtrodden and so stuck with no way out, please may I urge, may I insist that the last thing that you do is to take your own life. That is not what we need. We do not need more innocent people's lives. It's another murder. Effectively, it's not suicide, this is forced suicide, which in turn equivalates to murder. These people are pushing people to suicide. These people are murdering people on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and it needs to stop. So anybody here in the UK that is viewing this video and feels that they're in that kind of position, please can I urge you to phone the Samaritans, who will give you I've got the rain here. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday, and I've had to have lights on. It's a very, very dark day here in England, and that will lead lovely into the next topic that I want to talk about after I've given you the current information about the Samaritans helpline, that I insist and urge you all, anybody that's in a position where they feel that they are so stuck and their only option is to take their own life, please stop that line of thought, pick up your phone and contact the Samaritans. The free phone number for the Samaritans here in the UK is 116 123. Once again, the Samaritans free phone number for anybody that finds themselves in a position very, very similar to what Laura found herself in at the end of last week. Please, I insist, I urge you, think twice before you make any final decisions. Please pick up your phone and call the Samaritans, and even if it's just somebody to speak to, somebody to possibly get some advice from, to stop you and get you out of that train of thought that the program pushes you into, please, I urge you, contact the Samaritans. The Samaritans are a non-biased charitable organisation here in the UK, and they will listen and they will speak and they will give you advice as best they can to prevent you from following through with what decisions you're contemplating. So once again, the Samaritans free phone number is 116 123. That's the national account number, a national telephone number for the Samaritans here in the UK. They do have regional branches, but I picked out the national number purely because it's more apt, and you will get through to somebody to speak about. And just bear with me. I've got to pour this window too. Oh, I've gone a bit red. Yeah, please, Samaritans, do not follow through with what they want you to do. They want you to take your own life. The program is designed, the end result is to either have you in prison or dead by your own hand. Do not allow that to happen. So yeah, so it's just mind-boggling. This whole disgusting program is so mind-bogglingly, yeah, it's a swearing. I made that word up, bogglingly. It's just, words can't describe what these absolutely sadistic, satanic, animalistic, cowardly people are trying to do and are indeed doing. Not only to innocent people here in the UK, but on a global scale. There aren't any words. There are no words to describe what these people are, what these people are doing, and how they are being allowed to do it, which will lead on lovely to my next topic. I'm not actually going to mention the guy's name, purely for the pure risk is at the moment here in the UK, the government have ordered a complete media blackout on reporting on a very, very severe and fascist type situation that took place on Friday here in Leeds in the UK. Like I said, I won't mention his name purely because they may utilise that D notice, which I believe it's called, where it forbids everybody from advertising and talking and reporting on the situation at hand. Basically what happened is a very, very brave gentleman who has been trying to bring the very, very horrific topic of child rape gangs, Islamist child rape gangs that are literally raping thousands and grooming thousands of young British girls, and I'm assuming boys to some degree, here in the UK, and they are being allowed to get away with it. It's been going on for decades, and this guy on Friday was actually standing outside a courthouse on the day where I think it was 10 suspects were, or 10 alleged suspects of child grooming, of gang rape members, if you like, were in court for sentencing on Friday. This brave gentleman took it on himself to go and do a live feed on his own outside the court. He was then arrested by several police officers here in the UK. He was manhandled into what we call a meat wagon or a police van over here in the UK, and within 6 hours, I mean 6 hours, he was arrested, he was charged, he was seen in court, he was sentenced, and he was in prison with a sentence of 13 months within 6 hours of their arrest on Friday. The judge who sentenced this individual actually then ordered a D notice on anybody, any media platform, any individual reporting on this topic. Effectively, what we are looking at here is we are looking at the first steps of fascism. Not the first steps, but the first publicised steps of fascism and Nazism in the UK. The UK is no longer a free country. The UK is no longer a country where you are allowed the benefit of free speech. You are not allowed to stand up and protect the children and the young people of this country from evil Islamist rape gangs that are being protected by the establishment. They're being protected by the police, they're being protected by the government, they're being protected by the judges. The judicial system in this country is so corrupt, and now it seems that the dark days of Britain are upon us. There are literally tens of thousands of people rioting the streets of London as I speak, and have been since Friday, since the arrest of this gentleman. They have been climbing the gates of number 10, screaming at the top of their voices to free this gentleman from prison and allow him to come home to his family and his children, which has all been in vain. We are indeed living in Nazi Britain as it stands at this present time. We have got some very, very dark days ahead in this country unless something is done about it. The reason that I'm bringing this topic up is it basically gives you a complete idea of the level of corruption and the level of cover-ups and the level of corruption within the judicial system that has not only seen this gentleman put into a prison where he's potentially going to be murdered by said individuals from certain religious backgrounds in the prison that he's in. It gives you an idea as to why and how the targeted individual program has been kept such a secret, such a undercover, blatantly in your face undercover program that is destroying so many people's lives, not only here in the UK but around the world. The government know what's going on. They are now pushing a fascist agenda to quieten anybody that speaks up about situations like the targeted individual program or rape or child grooming gangs, where thousands, and I mean thousands, just do your research, Telford, Leeds, it's everywhere. There are rape gangs that are conducting their disgusting, whatever you want to call them, in virtually in every big town within this country, and it's been going on for decades, and it's been allowed to go on by the police the same way the targeted individual program has been allowed to go on and actually being actioned and aided and abetted by the certain police forces all over the country, as it is on a global scale. We all know that the officialdom knows all about the targeting program. We know the officialdom knows all about the paedophilia problem that seems to be so apparent and so disgustingly, massively cancerous here in the UK and globally indeed. So, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We are now living in Nazi Britain. You will not find any reports of the riots and the protests and the rallies that are taking place regarding what happened on Friday with this gentleman. You will look on all mainstream news, you will not find one word mentioned about what's going on. You will turn on your mainstream TV and you will have your usual crap, Coronation Street bullshit, fake news, and stuff that keeps everything looking rosy and shiny. Well, couldn't be further from the truth. This country is in peril. The British public, the masses of this country, need to wake up and understand and realise exactly what kind of dictatorship, what kind of fascist Nazism type dictatorship that this country is actually now blatantly turned into. How many more people need to die? How many more children need to have their lives destroyed by these disgusting paedophilic gangs? And obviously we've got the issue with the Westminster paedophile ring, we've got the Jimmy Savile, we've got high level, top end, as they call themselves, individuals of this country that are involved in the paedophilia issue in this country, that seems to be, they seem to be protected. The only way that you're going to move on in this life is if you are a paedophile or a Freemason. Maybe they go hand in hand, who knows. Some very dark days ahead for the British public. Some very, very dark days ahead for everyone in this country. 97% of the people in this country need to wake up to the fact that we are living in Nazi Britain. We are living in a fascist state that is blatantly turning a blind eye to not only the paedophilia issue, which is massive, but also the targeted individual program, which is just, in my opinion, just as important, just as urgent an issue to be resolved. What does the future hold for this country? What does the future hold for the young children, the next generations of young children that are going to be growing up within this fascist state, within this Nazi run country, with a German royal family to boot? Don't take a lot of working out, does it? So yeah, it is what it is. And until the masses start waking up and start saying enough's enough, then the noose will only be tightened further and further. The chokehold on the populace of this country will only get tighter and tighter. Freedom is an illusion in this country. Freedom of speech is an illusion in this country. The only thing that changes us and makes us any different in the TI community from the horrific treatment that the Jewish population received from the Nazis prior and during the World Wars. The only difference with us targeted survivors is that we don't have to go around with a yellow star band on our arm identifying us as a certain type of individual. The future's not bright here. As the weather quite clearly states, we are in some dark, dark days in this country. So yeah, onwards and upwards. It's the only way. It's the only way I know. I will never bow. I will never kneel. I will never beg. And until more people start taking that same attitude and start taking that same stance, then nothing is going to change. The problems will only get bigger and bigger. The corruption will get worse. The judicial system are absolutely riddled, and I mean riddled from top to bottom, with disgustingly corrupt individuals that have the power in their hands to put an innocent man in jail for purely reporting on the fact that 1,400 girls, 1,400 young children had their life destroyed by these grooming gangs, and it's allowed to go on. Where is this all going? I dread to think. But we've got to stay strong. We must remain strong. Not only for us as adults here in the UK, but for the younger generations, for the children that will be living and growing up in the society that we've got around us today. That society needs to be changed, and the only way that that's going to be changed is if people start standing up for themselves, like they are in London at the moment, in their thousands, in support of this gentleman that is potentially not going to come out from that 13-month prison sentence. He will come out, but he'll probably come out in a body bag. Anyway, must crack on because I've got to get down to the gym and go and have my workout. I need to get my umbrella out, and do you know what? Words really can't describe how I'm feeling about the whole concept of what this country is all about, what the whole targeting issue is all about. It's just, I mean, the confusion that I find myself in, purely down to not being able to understand how these things are being allowed to go on. It's heartbreaking. It's emotionally draining to be concerned in so many ways, and nothing is going to be done about it. Just want to make you aware as well, Kieran gave an absolutely mind-blowing interview on the Ella Free show last week, so please go and take a look at Kieran's interview that is up now on the Ella Free YouTube channel. You will find it very empowering. You will find it very, very powerful in some of the stuff that Kieran speaks about, and it's the truth. Until we start uniting, not only within the TI community, but within the populace as a whole, we are going to get stamped on, we are going to get trodden down, we are going to get potentially murdered, as this gentleman's probably going to end up dead within the prison system. TIs are dying, TIs are threatening suicide, because they can't take no more of the persecution and the victimisation that they're having to deal with, and have dealt with, some of them for many, many years. A totalitarian state. Nazi Britain, welcome. So yeah, please go and take a look at the interview that Kieran gave. It's quite a long interview, roughly about 2.5 hours long. I believe he's going in to do a part 2 at some stage, latter part of this week, and you will find it very, very interesting. It's a very long interview, but very, very worth listening to, and I hope it empowers you like it should do. The TI community, for what it is, needs to wake up, needs to stand up, and we need to prevent all of this infiltration and all this garbage that's going around. And that will lead me on to my final topic of today's episode. It seems that there is a particular gentleman that's going around all of the TI television interviewees and people that have been connected, or people that are connected to TI television, a guy by the name of John Richardson, that I've been made aware of, that is actually going around and slandering not only myself but Kieran and TI television, to people that we've helped, which is moronic. It turns out that this John Richardson is actually an agent, self-confessed agent, and I've got screenshots where he's actually stating, I'm a secret operative for Gary Owens of the TIA, The TIA is an organisation that has been draining individuals' finances on bullshit, lies and made up situations, promising compensation, promising this, promising that. We had it all with Paolo. You know, Gary got Paolo to do the same thing. Paolo's now has listened and has understood exactly what Gary was doing and what Gary was making him do, and has now stepped back from the TIA, I believe. So the new recruit on the block for Gary Owens, the coward that allows everybody to go and do all of his dirty work for him, and this moronic idiot John Richardson, that seems to be his new monkey, please be made aware, and please, anybody that is contacted by John Richardson, would you and mentions and badmouths me or Kieran or TI Television, can you please kindly make me aware of the fact? So that just about sums up today's video. I did have other topics I wanted to talk about. I'll quickly, there's just before I go, I don't know how many of you are aware, but last week it came out into the public, or actually mainstream. I actually saw the information on the morning breakfast show here in the UK. I think it was last Tuesday, where they was talking about and reporting on the fact that there has been another directed energy weapon attack on an American diplomat, but this time in China. I was quite disgusted and quite annoyed, and actually to a certain degree quite angry at the way that the presenters on the Good Morning Britain breakfast show actually handled the topic, where they was talking about microwave directed energy weapons and how far and what these so-called non-lethal weaponry systems do to an individual, and they seem to find it very, very funny, and they seem to find it very, very joyful and jovial, to the point where they was actually laughing and making jokes about, oh, I wonder what it's like to get hit with a microwave weapon. Maybe one day you'll find out. Maybe one day they will find out exactly what it feels like to be attacked with directed energy weaponry, like so many of us in the TI community have had to endure for many, many years. The world's gone mad, people. The world's gone absolutely stark raving bonkers, and nobody is lifting a finger to do anything about it. The only, especially within here in the UK, the only thing that I can see turning things around is some kind of peaceful revolution. We don't need violence, but I can see it turning to that. I can see there being a lot of bloodshed here in the UK if the regime that is in power, the regime, sorry, I just took the light out because it seems to be brightening up a little bit. The regime that seems to be hell-bent on destroying the classical, traditional British way of life. We've had millions of people over the years in the world wars and in the various wars that have taken place that have given their lives for freedom, for democracy, for freedom of speech, and that has been a complete waste of life. They will be turning in their graves if they could see the state of this country that they died and fought for. Wow. What else is there to say? Targeted survivors, please, once again, never ever contemplate taking your own life due to the persecution and the targeting that you're receiving. Please, I urge you. Samaritan's number, once again, 116123. That's the national telephone number for the Samaritans here in the UK. And that just about sums up today's video. So I trust you're all doing as well as you possibly can be. And I hope that this message gets out to some people that find it of some use and some encouragement in their darkest hour, like young Laura was in last week. Thank the Lord, thank God. I'm not religious, but if there is a God, I thank him for saving that young lady, for preventing that innocent lady who has been tortured and tormented virtually her whole life from taking her own life. Laura, there are a lot of people out here that, especially within YouTube, that were very concerned. There was I mean, the amount of communications that I was getting was quite overwhelming for you, Laura. And we wish you the very, very best, and we hope that you can get back to some form of normality in the very, very near future. And we hope to see you again here on YouTube, giving your very, very powerful videos and talking about the information that you talk about in your videos. You're missed, you're cared for, and you're loved by so many people. So targeted survivors, stay strong, stay defiant, never give in, never ever give in. Give in, they win. Don't let them win. Please do not let them win. So that just about sums up today's video. Like I mentioned, I trust you're all doing as well as you possibly can be, and I'm sure I'll get back to you at some stage next week with another hopefully more positive video. But with the way that things are going, not only within the TI community but within the whole of the UK at the moment, who knows how much longer videos and information like I'm putting out on my YouTube channel is going to be allowed to continue. The censorship and the dictatorship, the level of dictatorship that's going on in this country at the moment, I dread to think how many channels and how many people are going to be persecuted through purely exercising their right of free speech. Time will tell. So targeted survivors, stay strong, stay defiant, please never give in. Tomorrow's always a new day. And until next time, take care of yourself, keep them peeled, and look after yourself. Please look out for yourself and for other people that you know are going through some tough times and some rough times. Please. We have to have some kind of positive effect. We have to look out for as many people as we possibly can look out for. So until next week, take care of yourself, look out for yourself, keep them peeled, remain defiant, stay strong TIs, and stay safe. That's all for this week, and I'll see you all again real soon. So take care and bye for now.